timeline, I'm immediately starting the next session. We are welcoming Prasad. He's an architect and consultant. He's passionate about SharePoint, Office 365, Azure, everything, and he's a motivational speaker. He is going to talk about creating the Microsoft Teams tab with the Microsoft Graph toolkit. Okay, uh, I'm welcoming Prasad. Over to you.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Jenkins. Am I audible?
Oh yes, Prasad.
Prasham, yes. Thank you. And thanks all. Good morning. Let's start with the session. First of all, of course, thanks to all the sponsors because of this event is happening. And thanks for all the teams to giving this opportunity to speak here and to share few stuffs which we have. Before that, I'll show you the demo first because might be later it's very difficult to have the demo if I'll start go through these slides. So what is the use case basically? Let me share. Let me show you my Teams client. Yeah. Is this visible? Okay. So here is the use case is I want to show the current user who is logged in to the portal, the teams which the current user had joined. This is basically a background I would like to go. We have the team automation as Siddharth already discussed in the previous session, where our customer want the in the previous session Microsoft Form is used, but we are using the Power App Forms to order the team. So customer wants to order the team, and then we have the basically we didn't use the Power Automate. We use the console applications and call the Graph API from there. So it's a basically scheduled job which is scheduled behind the scene. Whenever the Power App Form submit the request, it went through one SharePoint list and the job was picking from that list. So in this way, so that went well. We were calling the Graph APIs; those are security trim APIs. So we are calling based on the application. Our Azure app registration is there, and then we are using the X0599 certificate there to use it. That certificate was uploaded into the certificates and secrets for that Azure app. So that went well. Everything is working fine, but then the suddenly the request when one issue came like if those teams which are created through our form or through our custom logic from the console application or from the job, those teams can be archived but couldn't be get unarchived. And the customer wants that from there. Like if I go to the Teams client here, if I go to the Teams client and if I went to the Teams and the customer wants to like the do the archival and the unarchival functionality as it is, because that was working for the out of box teams which are created from either Teams client or the Teams web. So that was the requirement. Then we realized that we are archiving the teams. We have the archive feature of the team. Basically that was the team life cycle. So after specific duration we are sending email communication to the customer, okay, this teams is getting created since this long time. What you want to do, you want to extend this team or archive this team, and we are archiving it on behalf of the application, Azure application. So what was happening, the Azure app don't have permission to archive the SharePoint site which is created behind the scene, and which is created behind the scene, and that's why only the team is getting archived. SharePoint site was remaining as it is, and while unarchived, since the team is archived through app, the user can't unarchive it, and so the request is. So we have like there were the certain option like we need one service account or setup account which has a team service administrator role into the my tenant, and then execute that on behalf of that user. But then again, there is some security issues, and customer said, no, we don't want to give any user or to on behalf of you will execute this code and the team service administrator role to that. And then we have this came, okay, customer has the intranet portal where we'll show the join teams and join and unjoin option. We'll show the list of the teams and join and unjoin option. And from there again, we will execute the application behind the scene. And that's why this request came. And we were implementing SPFX component and showing the teams listing, which are my join teams, and which are the public teams which I can join from the portal. So that was the scenario, one of the scenario which happened. And then we explore the graph toolkit, and it's found that we are very easy. It's very easy to list my teams and something. The second scenario come in this way. In the along that the customer want that app, because customer now need to go to the SharePoint site, open that link where that Power Up form is there, and submit the request or order the team. The second thing they want, like they want here the app here, or here a tab, one tab here where the customer could order the teams from the teams client itself, from the teams client itself. So so that was one, again the use case appears that okay, we need a teams tab here, and we want here. As Siddharth mentioned in the last, we they could add the Teams channel here, and we could easily refer the SharePoint page, site page, or URL, web URL, which can be surfaced here. But then, since this team client is accessible to all the users slash employees from my organization, so they want that it should be like a generic here, not to particular team. How many teams? Whenever the new team will get created, then we need to provision these, and that kind of issues are there. And that's why these are the few requirements and the use cases we got there. We need the teams tab here into the teams, where we could customer could order the teams from the client itself or web itself. Okay, so in this session we'll just go through what are the Microsoft Graph, what is the Microsoft Graph toolkit, and how it's easy to develop the actual components with the help of Microsoft Graph toolkit. But before that, I'll again show, as I mentioned that this is in the browser. If you see the URL, it's the localhost mgt, the file name is second.html, where all my joint teams are visible. This is hosted into the IIS. So it is just a kind of sample web application which is hosted in the IIS, and this is listing me all the my joint teams, the current user which is logged into my this local tenant. This is my development tenant, Office under the Office 365 development program, and where I am signing using the Microsoft Graph Toolkit, and it listing me all my joint teams. But then we need this into the Teams tab as well. So we have one Teams tab here, like we implemented here, like we could easily integrate here with. I have given the name is like Bangalore SPS. Currently there were some UI issue, but still I'll show you. When I sign in, it will show me, it will give me a pop-up to log in with the team, as it will take my credentials since I'm already logged in, and it will show me the all the joint teams here as a Teams tab. The second thing I like to show, there is a tab like this. I want to integrate here my task which are assigned to me, the planner or something, where I could add a task and assign to self and set all those things, priority and the due dates and all those things. So nowadays it's as we also having like a keynote session, the importance of the team, and how very heavily investment is Microsoft is doing under the teams, or for the teams. That is the priority product of now of the M365 suite. So it's important to have the understand the what kind of the application which will be developed with the Microsoft Teams, and this is one of the use cases which I discuss here. Now let's go to the, so these are the demo which I'll like to show. Now let's go to these slides itself. Yeah, I won't go through this. I'll skip this agenda. Just take away from this session. I'm sure that we'll understand what is the then Microsoft Graph API, importance of the Microsoft Graph API. Nowadays, almost we all are discussing the Microsoft Graph APIs. And then what is the Microsoft Graph Toolkit? What are the providers? There are some providers available for Microsoft Graph Toolkit and Microsoft Teams, and the demo which we saw. So at least I hope at the end of the session we'll get a basic understandings of Graph, Microsoft Graph and Graph Toolkit and the providers, and then how I created those tabs and those are integrated into the team, and I'm surfacing those are on the browser, or how we could integrate those with the either with the SPFX component as well. So just before starting, what are the prerequisites for this Microsoft Graph Toolkit? These are the basically just components, web components framework. They called it as a framework agnostic components because they are like all browser compatibility and W3C compliance and all things are there. So yes. So what are the prerequisites required for this Microsoft Graph Toolkit? You will require the basic understanding of the Microsoft Graph. So then you will require to develop Visual Studio Code. You could use the any kind of code editor there, but I'm using the Visual Studio Code. Then we'll require the Microsoft 365 tenant. We could have that. We could join the Microsoft 365 developer program. That was the 3 months and get renewal based on the uses of the tenant. So that was very fantastic or good scheme from the Microsoft. And since I'm almost a year, I'm using now my local tenant under this program. And then we required one Azure app and the few settings on the Azure app. We will see that what are the settings. So just to starting with what is the Microsoft Graph. So this is since the prerequisite for Graph Toolkit. It's let's understand that these are the unified set of programming model. Previously, what will be there? Like if I want to some access some data from under my Office 365 suite, say for example my Outlook messages, or I need some my personal data or some users data or something like that. Then we have the different or some exchange related stuff. Then there are the different endpoints available, different authentication mechanism available. Among all those things, it's the developer's life is a bit hard. So I need to remember all the endpoints. I need to remember all the authentication mechanisms and other stuff. So Microsoft come up with the Microsoft Graph, which is a unified model. There is only one endpoint, that is graph.microsoft.com, and with this endpoint, we could easily access all my Microsoft 365 data. And now it's exploring nowadays. Day before yesterday or few days before, I was reading that Outlook web services or Outlook REST APIs are getting deprecated. So now all other, even though they are available, like there are Azure AD REST APIs or Azure AD Graph APIs are also available. Even though those are available, but now best practices or recommended way from the Microsoft is used to the Graph API to get the M365 data. Not only now the M365 data, it's for available for D365 as well. And if we see this image, so there are multiple options, like one is this is a entry point or to get away for to get the my M365 data. Second is there are some connectors are available and some data connects are also available. So data connects are like I could expose my whatever the data I could get with the Microsoft Graph API to some implement some intelligence services components like Azure AI platform or something in this way. So, and this is not only related limited to Microsoft 365, but my Windows 10 and enterprise mobility and security kind of app for the applications for them as well. So this is I would say if you are still not aware about if you are working on the Microsoft Cloud platform, either M365, 365 or Azure, it's necessary, I would say, to know the Microsoft graphs and to do our hands dirty on the Microsoft graph. So let's move ahead. So this is about the Microsoft Graph. Very small or brief, but just to heads up. Then what are the Microsoft Graph toolkits? So Microsoft define as those are the reusable framework agnostic components, and yes, which are basically helpers for to get the Microsoft Graph to work with the Microsoft Graph. They are like there are lots of controls. There are controls available, which we'll see which are the controls available as well. And these are controls basically useful for, as we saw, there is a team tabs or the SPFX component in which we saw where my all joint teams are listing, and the web, so and the web apps as well. So these are components are useful to develop or to implement these kind of the applications. Then they handles with the help of providers, they handle the authentication parts itself, UI parts, as well. So we no need to worry about the authentication, because when we access the Microsoft APIs, we need the access token. Then to get the access token, again we need the Azure application ID or the secret key or super admin account username password or certificate, these kind of things, and then we need to write some code there. These kind of things by handled by the providers. These Microsoft Graph Toolkit component can be accessed into the code using the script, which is unpackage.com Microsoft MGT bundle mgtloader.js, or we could have the npm package also available at the rate Microsoft/mgt. So if we are using like I'll show you the, I'll move to the code now. I'll show one code as well, that file which will show. So we need to include this script while using the Microsoft Graph Toolkit components. So we have included the script here, or if we are using this toolkits components into the SPFX component, then we could include, we could have the npm package as well at the rate Microsoft MGT. Yes, why to use this? These are making our life very easy. Just imagine here, we are rendering my joint team, so we'll just need some provider setting. This is CSS part that we could ignore, and then I just need to include one of the Microsoft Graph Toolkit component mgtk and see the URL, me join teams. So whatever the user currently logged in to my site or to the teams, and this is the context aware. These components are the context aware. So understand the who user logged in and the permissions and all those things. So if you see here, just specify the scope and it will show me all my teams here. I could use the display name or descriptions that we are rendering, and the people or the members of the team as well. So it's very easy. How easy to write that code to get all my joint teams, and then with the help of this, with the help of team providers, include them into the uh, teams tab as a teams tab. So those are very easy to use. Authentication is handled behind the scene. If you notice here, I have given this client ID. This is nothing but my Azure app ID. So if I move to my tenant, and for example, say, yes, I'm into the Azure Active Directory Admin Center. If you see this aad.portal.azure.com, what things here we need to specify. From the overview tab, we'll get the Azure app ID. So we have registered this Azure app ID, and then there are few settings which we need to do under the authentication tab. One is important thing is redirect URL. I'll come back to on this, but then it requires that to enable these both the grant flows. One is with the help of the access token, and the second is from the ID tokens. And yes, so these settings need, required. And one more thing is required. If I go to the overview to work with MGT, if you see this supported account types, that is all Microsoft account types. So when I create the Azure app, for example, I'll just quickly show. If you go to the Azure says app registration and new registration, so here I'll need to select it as the multi-tenant. So this option, organize any Azure Editor multi-tenants, then only these graph toolkits components are working. So that was one of these are the important settings which I'll required to have for my Azure AD. I'm again moving back to the our Azure AD. There are two Azure ADs I'm using. One is created which the application which I hosted into the IaaS, that was my web application listing, and one I'm using for the teams, that is say for this example which I created previously for the Gurgaon session. So here the redirect URL and these kind of the sessions, these kind of the settings we require. Account in any organizational directory, that is multi-tenant which we saw, and this we need to grant the flow for both kind of things, like the access for the authorizations purpose, access token and ID token. And then what is this redirect URL, that I'll come back again. So we could so these components are developed on the top of all web standards. Those are the W3C HTML compliant, and those all work on kind of the web frameworks as well, like React, Angular, Vue. So, and all the major browsers suppose these components, since those are also again built on the top of the Office UI Fabric core components. And as we saw here, those are customizable as well. Here we are our specifying our custom style. If I go to again browser and show you, so this is our custom style which we have applied. So it's very easy to apply the styling part as well for those components. Now, which are the available Microsoft Graph Toolkit components available? I listed here few of like login component, person component, people, agenda, which shows the events from the my calendar or the agenda from the my calendar. It shows the my task as well, where we saw into the teams. If here I go and where we saw this task by my, these are the my task assigned. So there is a component for that as well. People picker, where I need to choose the Office 365. It search against the Office 365 users connection. So there I could list it out my Office 365 users, person card where it shows the current users details, and then get is very important where we could query to the Graph API directly. In our code, we are querying to the Graph APIs directly using this MGT get. One more thing, if you see here, we are using this MGT login component as well, which allows me to sign in with my Office 360 account. For example, if I go to the browser again, here, if you see this, it might get break because I was exploring, but if I click on that sign in component, it asks me to pick up the my Office 365 account, which I'm logged in. So in this way. So we are using in this application or for creating this kind of team, we are using the login control and the MGT get component, MGT login component, MGT get component, and all these components are available through this script mgt-loader.js. We are downloading it from the CDN here. We are using it. So yes. So these are the, and there is a channel picker as well where I need to list out the all my I need to pick up the channel and show on to the my in my SPFX component or on the web page or somewhere. These kind of there is one more kind of use case as well where I have the integration from the ASP web application or some application third party where I need to integrate with the Office 365 particular service, where then there at that time we could use this MGT login component to sign in and to proceed. So that was also one kind of use case where it's used. In next, there are some providers. Now, what are the providers? These are the providers are like those allow us to authentication ourselves and use the Microsoft Graph, gives us the Microsoft Graph APIs access. As we saw there, these are the Microsoft Graph APIs are the security team APIs, and to access those we'll require access token. And access token is nothing but that was the 64-bit JSON based token which will required. So we'll get that on behalf of either username, password, or Azure app and the certificate or secret key. As we saw here, if I again go back to there, these providers here, if you notice this on my screen, we are using this MGT MSL provider. This is again came from the script MGT-loader, and we are passing the parameter as a client ID to it, and this client ID is of our Azure app. If I go back to the my app, so this is the different one. I'll open the new window, the different one. There are two apps I'm using for this. Till the time it's loading. Point is here, we just need to specify the client ID, and everything is abstraction for us. This MGT MSL provider that takes care of the access tokens, the permissions, and all the authentication. So it's abstraction for us. Yes, here it is. And yes, we are using this M365. So if you notice, this is the application ID which we just specified here to the provider. It's so easy to use these components, and we are ready to go here. It's a similar kind of the things in which in the Graph Explorer when we log in, and we could perform the query and get the results. So there is also, we have abstractions for the tokens and the authentication mechanism and the permissions and all those things. So it's very easy, where these are the providers which enables us to have the authentication mechanisms and to access the Graph API, so that we could use these MGT Graph Toolkit components. So there are number of providers are available. This MSAL provider that we are using in our code here now, but then there are, when we use the SPFX component or related to the SharePoint, there is a SharePoint provider is available. When we are when we are integrating with the Teams, there is a Teams provider. So we will discuss that we are also using the Teams provider. When we go to the Teams or Microsoft Teams desktop client, there is a Teams provider available. So here, if you again check this code, we are checking whether this Teams provider is available, because we are running these in the both the places, in the in my SharePoint context as well, on my web page as well, in HTML file and in the Teams as well. So here we are checking here. There are multiple options. You no need to check as well here, but here we are comparing that. Okay, we are checking that if it is a Teams context or Teams provider is available, then use the Teams provider. What is this auth prop URL, that I'll discuss shortly. But if it is in my web page or in simple HTML page I'm loading from IIS or from a web application, then load the MSL provider. And yeah, so here we are checking that context. So there is a Teams provider, there is a proxy provider. When we use those, like in the behind the scene from the background jobs or daemons, that kind of applications, we could use the proxy provider, and then we could implement the custom provider as well. I guess derived from I provider or something, that is a class available, which we need to get derive that interface, and we need to implement the method for our custom provider to provide those authentication mechanism and to get the access to the Graph APIs. So these are the kind of the providers with the Microsoft Graph Toolkits are available, and those helps us to enable the authentication and to access the Graph API. Everything is abstraction, so our life is like a bit more easier. So in case if I need to write some applications or somewhere, then we need to get the access token, and we need to pass to the HTTP request as a barrier token, and all those things steps we need to perform. So those are handled here. Now, what is the tab? We were discussing that if I'm again going to the Teams client, let's move there. Yeah, so we are discussing that these tabs we could add, and these are the tabs. So these tabs are nothing but those are the web apps, web pages hosted somewhere outside the our Microsoft Teams. So there are various options to host these web pages, and most convenient or mostly we are using to host these web pages into our Azure as a part of the Azure App Service. That was one option. For demo purpose, we are using nrock. Now, what is nrock? Nrock is a tool which allows us to have our pages as on the lives, as on the live, so that we could be those could be accessed here into the Teams. Those pages are the accessible to the tool. So it creates a tunnel, and if you notice here, my pages are hosted on the HTTP localhost 3000 this port. But when I run the nrock, there is a command which I need to specify. I need to specify the nrock and this URL. And if you notice here, it creates the two endpoints for us with some its own URL, like this one .ngrock.io, and one is the HTTPS. Now, why this HTTPS is required? Because when we create the team, it's very easy. There is, I'll show you. There is App Studio here. If you notice here, I already created the tab for our under the manifest editor tab. We already have created a Bangalore SPS tab and one tab I was testing it. But then when we have like these kind of pages are created, or the application is created, which we want to show from in render when the tab is getting clicked, or uh, those whatever the functionality or the features we need to provide through the tab, like for example order creations or like show join unjoin teams, this kind of application ready, then we need to go to the App Studio. App Studio is allow us to create very easily the three kind of, like here we could create the tabs, then we could create the and manage the bots as well, and we could have the important existing app, which is again the zip file. Actually, I will show you that. So I create a new app. There is a few um, required fields which we need to give, like the name. We need to give the app ID, which will be generated very easily from which is here the App Studio itself, which is the unique identifier this, and then some URLs, and if we have the icons and all things. But the important thing is here tabs. So here there are the two tabs of the tabs. So that one is the team tab, which any user could add, and one is the personal tab, like for I'm the user who could add that. So if I go to the add here, we need to give the content URL. Now, what are these content URL? If I again go to the browser and show you, this is the content surfacing on my page. So I need to give the URL. When I host this into the IIS, this App Studio or this Microsoft Teams doesn't understand that URL. It required the live server URL. So either it from, let's have from Nrock or the Azure App Service URL, where our either .aspx or .html pages are the hosted, and that's why we require the nrock here, which allows us these our sites which we hosted locally or in IIS, which allows us to be available online. And other point, we require the HTTPS because it only access the HTTPS URLs. It doesn't access this while creating tab. It doesn't allow us to be use this HTTP kind HTTP URL. So for the demo purpose here, I'm using the nrock. I started nrock and then specified my the where I have hosted the my application or the HTML pages, which created simple, and then I'm using these pages. We could go and edit the our previous one as well. Let's go there. Edit tabs, edit tab, and if you see here, that was my nrock URL. If we compare here, if you see, this is the HTTPS 273.760. That was the nrock URL. So that was and yeah, that was the live URL for the pages which I am hosting here. Okay, so that was the important thing. Again, when I'll add my feature or my apps as a part of the with the help of this App Studio, and yeah, let's go to the slides again. Yes. So these are teams tabs are nothing but those are the web pages hosted in the outside the team, like Azure. For currently for development purpose, we are using the nrock tool. For production purpose, we need to use the Azure as a part of Azure service. And then these web parts or these web pages are embedded into the iframe as a part of channel, group chat, or Teams app. So if I go to again Teams client, so as we previously also saw that we could part of any particular team as a part of the channel as well. We could add the tab here, but then those are integrated as a part of the iframe. Uh, and then we could include those the tabs as well. If we create the Teams tab, then the particular channel as well, and even we could have share those in the group chat. And as we already discussed, these are the context aware. So when I'm using that team, uh, when I'm using that my team my tab, it's know that I am the current logged in user. It knows that what are the my current tasks here, that was here, or I could add it against the me. So these are the tabs are the context aware. Similarly, for the SharePoint as well, when I goes to there, if we, this is hosted in localhost, and that's why when I open this page, it asks me the authentication to allow me to log in Office 365 tenant ID and the password. But if I'm using these tabs into my SharePoint framework component, then these are the SharePoint context aware. So I no need to like again log in and that kind of things. Now, As we saw, there were the Microsoft Graph Toolkits providers, these providers, as there is a team provider as well. Now I'm again going back to the code. In the team provider, we need to use this MGT team provider. Now, what is the team provider? As we saw on my web page, MSL provider takes care of everything of creating the access token and authentication mechanism and enabling the access to Graph API and permission. Similarly, when I go to the team client, my team provider takes care of everything. The current user I'm logged in, again to have the access token, again to perform the authentications and enable access to use the Graph APIs to get either my task or my join teams or like that. So teams providers enables us to these kind of things, and that's why here, as we discussed previously also, we are checking this MGT teams provider. But as for MGT components, there are a different script available, CDN. Similarly, for the to use the teams providers, I have like a Microsoft Teams .js. This we need to get reference from the CDN, and again there is npm as well. So yes. So these are the teams provider. Those are again on the top of MSL provider and handle the team specific logic is there. Now we need to build. We saw that these teams tabs are implemented and built. Now what is the procedure? There is some very simple flow like create a new team application with the custom tab. We need to set up ngrok and create tenant. Either you use the Azure or you could set up for demo purpose the ngrok. Before that, as we already discussed, we'll require the Azure app as well with those respective setting under the authentication tab. One is we need to specify redirect URL. We'll just shortly discuss this redirect URL, but we need to grant this, enable this, both the checkboxes, and we need to have that multi-tenant one. If I there. So these we need one Azure App ID which we need to specify to the providers. Either it's a team provider or it's a only if I'm not doing any operation with the teams, then only with this MSLA provider. So that app will require. So there is a simple flow. I need my Azure application ID with those few settings. Then I'll need to set up ngrok for development purpose. We could download ngrok for development purpose, and I started here my ngrok. So I need to keep this starting. Then only if you see this here or .html, what is that we will see? Not modified switching protocol or accepting this kind of, whenever I access that teams under client or under web, here I got to know, okay, what is happening behind it, which URLs are getting access. And see, this is the tool which allows us to be, our application will be available online. Then we need to use the Microsoft Graph Toolkits as mentioned in our code. We are using Microsoft. We have referenced the Microsoft Graph Toolkit script and the team script, and then we are using like login component. Then we are using the provider. Then we are using the get component, whatever the components are available from those, and then this we are querying to the teams. This is basically nothing but the Microsoft Graph API query. Then we'll need to initialize the teams provider. As we are doing here, we are checking if I'm accessing this tab under the team, or I'm accessing this page as a part of my web application or the SharePoint application or my internet application. So I'm checking that. And then we need to create the auth pop-up page. And this is like auth pop-up page, or I have another application where I'll simply have the auth pop-up page that I'll show this auth.html. What this pop-up enables? This pop-up enables if I'm using this as in my like hosted into the IIS or in my web application I'm running locally, it allows us to have
Yep.
the credentials.
Prasad, sorry if I interrupt. 5 minutes to go. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
And yes, thanks. And this authentication HTML page is required just one line. mgt.teams provide handle authentication. So it asked me the pop-ups and the permission dialog box comes when I first time access, and then it enables. So that was the one of the criteria I'll need auth pop-up page, and then add components. And how we will test? As we saw, if I go to the again Microsoft client, I need to, with the help of App Studio, I need to go to the manifest editor, because behind the scene it is like one is the manifest file. I'll show you that as well. I could edit this, and on editing there are various tabs comes under the left pane, and there is a ts time distribute as well. So if you see this, it shows me all my errors if available. Now this is the domain name error. That was just a warning because we are using this ngrok domain. That was just a warning. But then if we could download this, it get downloaded. If I go to my download and if I extract to it, I'll show you. It contains this one manifest JSON file. If I open with this Visual Studio Code, you will see all that whatever we specified in our file. So what are the privacy URLs, what are the name of the applications, and what is the short name, and what is the content URL, like the team's content is getting surface. So either ngrok URL. If it is Azure, then Azure URL. This kind of things which is the manifest.json content. And there is another option as well. If I go now, I downloaded this package, I could go to the apps, and there is like upload a custom app. If this is my development tenant, so this setting is already enabled. Otherwise you need to go to the team setting and enable this option, allow to upload a custom app. But then it will I could upload this my zip file here, which I downloaded from the app store. So from the app store here, app studio, from the app studio here, we could test under this manifest editor. We could go and open and edit, and we could test it here as well. And there are another options as well if I need to specify. For example, if I'm using some connectors which are like SQL connectors, something data is surfacing my team and something, so I could use that connector as well. And then there are the permissions as well. We could add the add app ID. This is the optional thing, but then device permissions are there, like to use our camera, microphone, and speakers to get the locations. If my Teams tab application is in such way where I'll need the required to use this kind of features or the components like camera and nothing, then I need to give the permissions as well. So in this way, it's very easy to have this development of team. This we saw one option where we are using the Visual Studio Code and writing our own HTML files and then uploading those. Yeah, there is one more alternative one option is as well available, that is from the Teams extension. So there is a team extension available for the Visual Studio Code. If I go to the Microsoft Teams here, it gives you the options, various options. Import either we could use that our existing app package or create new Teams app. So it when it allows us to ask us to log in with our Microsoft Office account, and then it will there once we have logged in, it will start from there. So if I logged into this, it will start from the give me the options now, which App Studio coming, creating a Teams, creating a bot, and that kind of options. You are signed in now and can close this space. Now if I go back there, so in the Visual Studio Code these options came, so I need to enable this. Okay, I want to create the team tab, I want to create the bot or messaging extension, these kind of applications. And then say for example, if I selected tab, if I go to the next, then these are the personal tab or team tab, whatever the options which we saw while creating through the App Studio. And then the Azure AD sign in and all those things it asks. So these are the multiple options available to create the Teams tab. I found that the first one I tried with the Visual Studio Code but couldn't succeeded for that. So first one I found it easy to do everything by ourselves and just with the help of this App Studio. But then we could explore that the Teams extensions as well, which is available for creating the Teams tab. This is the way this is the flow where we could use the Teams tab and extensions and the bot kind of thing for my Microsoft Teams applications. And those we have those live use cases as well where customer want the all Teams creation automation in the client itself and archive functionality issues and all those things. So this kind of for these kind of use cases, this is really very helpful. Two very what I'll say important these references. One is like build Microsoft Teams tab with the Graph Toolkit. They have this lab around Microsoft Graph Toolkit Day series. Microsoft has this very good series basically from 1 to I guess it's a 20 or something, 20 or 24 days, not remembering exactly, but then that was very good series. If you want to understand the Microsoft Graph Toolkit and various options like including working with React, SPFX, team providers, or in simple ASP.NET web applications. So this series was really very good. Uh, Go once if you want to explore more. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll conclude here my session. Thanks a lot for attending this, and I'm available on DevTrack again. If you have any queries or question, or now if you have any questions, we could discuss if time permits. Or
Uh, Anyone have any questions? Thank you very much, Prasad, for your time and the presentation and a nice demo. Thank you very much.